news made his mother smile. The boy was amazed that he'd received 3 of his heart's desires with only 1 jar of jam. Surely the whispers would reveal themselves to him if he took them a tribute even better than a jar of his mother's blackberry jam. And he knew just the thing. The next day, when the boy returned from shopping with his mother, he snuck out of the house right before sunset and took his new sneakers to the clearing in the woods. He kept them in the box, neatly wrapped in tissue paper so they wouldn't get scuffed or dirty. They were the nicest shoes he'd ever owned, and surely this tribute would persuade the whispers to show themselves. When he approached the rotted old tree stump, he saw that the blackberry jam was gone. The boy wasn't surprised. He was sure the whispers enjoyed his mother's jam just as much as everyone else did. He put the box with his sneakers on top of the rotted old tree stump, stood back, and waited. And waited, and waited. He waited so long, he wasn't sure the whispers were pleased enough with his tribute. Finally, something tickled the back of his neck with the lightest flutter of breath grazing his skin. It spoke his name and asked him what he wished. The boy froze. The whispers had never come that close before. They must be pleased with his tribute after all. He was excited, but afraid if he moved it would scare them away, so he closed his eyes and remained perfectly still. "I wish to see you," the boy said, in barely a whisper of his own. "I want to know what you look like. It's my heart's desire." At first, there was no clear answer, only a garble of whispers conversation that he couldn't understand. Then, the words slowly pieced themselves together, like a puzzle in his ear. "If we reveal ourselves, you can never leave us," the whispers said, their velvety voices caressing his ear through the warm summer breeze. "You must stay here in the woods with us forever, for you will know everything, and that is a burden too great to bear in your world." The boy swallowed hard. He closed his eyes even tighter and stood very still as sweat trailed down his neck, the whisper's words chilling him from head to toe. "Are you sure this is what you wish?" the whispers asked. "To see us, to stay with us, and become a whisper in the wind?" The boy began to worry. He thought about all the things he would miss if he stayed in the woods with the whispers forever. He would never get to ride his bike again, or go swimming in the pond with his friends, and he would never see his mother and father again. It seemed like an awfully high price to pay just to see what the whispers looked like. Besides, he'd already offered them his brand new sneakers, and they were the nicest things he owned. Wasn't that enough? "No," the whispers said, reading his thoughts. "It is not enough. If you see us, you must become one of us, and then you will know everything there is to know. You will hear everything, see everything. But the only tribute we can accept for that is your soul." The boy stood there with his eyes closed tight, scared he might accidentally see one of the whispers, and then the choice would be made for him. He needed a moment to think. The boy wondered what else there was to know. Because of the whispers, he knew the color of the moon up close, how many miles of ocean covered the earth, and how long he would live, 26,332 days. He knew he had a home to which he could return. He knew his parents loved him, and his father worked hard to take care of their family, and the kids at school would tease him a little less now that he had brand new sneakers. The boy knew it would be dark soon, and if he waited too long, he might never find his way out of the woods. Then what would the whispers do with him? He felt around until he found the box with his sneakers on the tree stump. He grabbed it, turned, and ran as fast as he could. He held the box close to his chest and didn't dare open his eyes. He tripped and fell, got back up and ran into one tree after another. Branches whacked him across the face and chest, but he kept running blindly through the woods. Only after he'd gone a good long ways and the tiny voices...